for hip internal rotation, for our passive range liftoffs, and for our hovers, we're gonna first find what our end range is, which we should know if we have been doing pails and rails regularly. Right, so my end range is the position where I can't pick that back foot off the ground. So that's not my end range. If I turn more towards my back leg to a point where I can't physically get it off the ground, that is my end range of motion. Okay, so for the purposes of our passive range liftoffs, I'm gonna back out of my end range about 10%. Okay, and from here, I'm gonna grab that back foot and I'm gonna pull my leg, so passively move my leg into more internal rotation, right? So my femur is just kind of moving around that hip. When I pull that foot up, I want to avoid dumping my hip forward, right? So my torso position remains the same, my hip position's the same, I'm just moving that leg into more internal rotation. So what our passive liftoff is going to look like, I'm going to grab, I'm going to pull it up, I'm going to contract and squeeze every muscle in my body that I think I need to keep that leg in that position. So I breathe in, I contract everything, I slowly release my hand, and I hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab the foot, pull it back up a little bit more, and repeat. Squeeze, hold, release, count down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and repeat for your prescribed amount of reps. So a big thing when we're doing this is we want to make sure that we're not moving to a range that we can't hold. So we're going to have a little bit of drop off when I release that foot, but I want to avoid contracting and letting my foot drop more than 20 degrees. So you might just kind of have to play with your position to find a position you can work in and work in strongly, opposed to that leg just dropping to the ground. So that is our passive range liftoffs. Moving on to our hovers, which we will do after our passive range liftoffs, I'm again going to move out of my end range even a little bit more. So here I'm looking for a position where I can pick my knee and my foot up uniformed together. Just enough so that I can kind of take a hand and go right underneath that leg. Doesn't have to come up very far off the ground. So to do that, I want to make sure that I'm not kind of leaning to get my leg off the ground. Remember, I'm just working my hip joint. I just want the only thing moving on my body is that hip. So if I need to, I can actually lean into my hand and back away a little bit more if that's going to allow me to maintain a torso position where just my leg is moving. Okay, so from our hovers, you take that belly breath in, I lift my knee and my foot off the ground just enough to get that hand through, and then I'm going to extend that leg out. Think about keeping your toe pointed to the ground. And then I'll reverse nice and controlled, come back to start. Under control, drop that knee and that foot together. So again, I'm pulling up, controlled as I extend my leg out, putting my toe towards the ground. We don't want to open, right? We want to stay internally rotated. And then under control, bring the knee, foot back, drop the knee and the foot under control together.